One insecurity, one source of anxiety and fear leads to another, and then it's just within the family, it just all amplifies.
We're hoping over the next 15 to 20 minutes that we're going to help people really understand how people might be having anxiety because of loss of income due to what's happening with coronavirus. So I'm Corey Cummins, I'm the co-founder and CEO of Quell, and the reason why I started Quell is we really just wanted to create a platform to help people figure out the best path to working through their mental health. So we think there's a lot of solutions out there, but what we want to do is actually take one step back and try to break down the stigma around mental health, but also help people understand really what is out there and what are the ways for them to kind of work through their problems. So, if you wouldn't mind, could you just give a quick background on yourself for the viewers?
I'm Dr. Sasha Mitrofanov, and my background is in working with people with their anxiety, with obsessive compulsive disorders, and overall with people for whom it's really in their everyday, they're very distressed. And usually it's caused by some traumas from the past, but it doesn't have to. It could be single traumatic events. And of course, the pandemic we are living through is an example of such a traumatic event where people's anxieties go through the roof.
With everything going on in the pandemic, there's been a huge impact across the globe, not just in the UK where we're based, but around people getting furloughed, getting laid off. And there's a lot of potential anxiety that's coming from this, from a loss of income. So could you kind of explain to the viewers actually what is, I guess, a quick understanding of what is anxiety, and also how is loss of income really causing that to happen?
The quickest definition I can give, anxiety is imaginary fear. So we remember something horrible from the past, we map it onto our future, but we get distressed about it in the present. Anxiety is different to fear, because fear is something that when we actually face the danger, like a car rushing towards us, or a tiger jumping at us, or somebody trying to punch us on the nose. Whereas anxiety, it's more what we think about something horrible that might happen, and then we get the result in our body.
Yeah, so thanks for giving the introduction to anxiety from loss of income. Could you explain, I guess, from an implication standpoint to the viewers, I guess, what makes this someone actually particularly vulnerable to this type of anxiety?
This is the kind of anxiety that goes and hits us at the very core of our being. Losing income, losing the job, for many people is very close to not being able to pay their rent, their mortgage, to buy the food for their family. And so as such, it's a fear of going hungry, of being homeless, and then it quickly links to the fear of death. And that's one of the primary fears. Second element is, for many people, there is an identity as a provider for their family, and suddenly they cannot provide. They might start feeling worthless, that somehow they're failing in their job of being a provider, and they might start feeling very insecure and scared and even angry because of that. Element number 3, we don't know when it's all gonna finish, so there's a lot of uncertainty in the air. And when people are scared, they want to be able to somehow control the situation. And here, there is nothing people can actually control once they lost their income. And as such, that lack of certainty combined with not being able to control the situation, that leads to even more fear. So 3 fears together: fear of death, uncertainty and control, and that broken identity.
And how might this be amplified during an isolated situation?
The usual tools for people dealing with the anxiety is going out, going for a walk, going for a drink, meeting their friends socially, chatting about issues. And those strategies are largely taken away from people. So they're just sitting at home with their families, and their families could be themselves stressed and anxious. And then 4 walls, they're just one-to-one with their thinking. And that is the kind of thinking that tends to spiral down, triggering more and more anxiety the more we think. And anxiety just breeds more anxiety.
How does this impact the families of those affected financially by the lockdown? So families, friends, loved ones, how does it really impact them?
Families of the person who lost a job, who is the main provider or the only provider for their family, they are somebody who they used to look up to, or at least to know that's where the support is coming from. And now if the person themselves is not certain anymore in their ability to provide for their family, and then they are frustrated or anxious, then that might become contagious, metaphorically, of course, that the family can get anxious looking at the person who lost a job. One insecurity, one source of anxiety and fear leads to another, and then it's just within the family, it just all amplifies.